You don't want to get wrapped up in that lawsuit.
All right, you're complicit. You're complicit.
Yeah, so you can sit there and say, like, hey, we took measures to mitigate, you know what I'm saying, what was happening. So we took it down. So they're trying to wash their hands of all responsibility of, yeah, man, they did the right thing.
All right, I got you.
Yeah, they don't want that lawsuit.
We ain't taken down because we can't pay nobody. So
yeah, exactly.
You can come on here, and spit those views.
Hey, I mean, you can come on and spit those views, but I'm gonna attack your ass like a damn bloodhound.
Sue us. We ain't got nothing.
Hey, he ain't gonna be able to say nothing. I'm like, shut up. Shut up, Kanye.
Hops and Stocks podcast is presented by 100 Spoke Media Group. We encourage our listeners to drink responsibly. Please note, we are not financial advisors. We do not offer or provide financial advice.
I'm Spoke affiliated from the city of Jim.
Welcome back to the Hops and Stocks podcast, brought to you by 100 Spoke Media Group. This is unfortunately episode 55 again.
Why you say unfortunately?
Man, because this is...
I mean, I know why, but why do you say it's unfortunate?
I'm gonna fess up. So we recorded episode 55 last week. Really, really good episode, by the way, that y'all will never see because somebody forgot to hit record. Usually I have it set up to auto record, logged on. I guess it wasn't set up. And my pod mates failed because they're the fail safe, so they have to accept some responsibility. They failed to let me know that it wasn't recording, and we podded for about, you know what I'm saying, an hour and 15, like some really good content that unfortunately we're not going to try to recreate.
Man, we was patting ourselves on the back after the pod, like good show, good job. You know, when we didn't have nothing to really talk about and all of this stuff. And I mean, it was some really good points made, man. And then you get a text from E like, F, I didn't hit the recording.
Yeah, and like a lot of letters.
I'm like, what?
As soon as I stop, it'll tell me that it's like converting. And when I didn't get that notice, like I knew immediately, as soon as I stopped, immediately that it didn't record. I just like,
hey man, I mean, you can see clearly right now that the red record is flashing.
Man, nobody.
It's crazy. Nobody caught that.
Nah,
yeah. Plus, I mean, it's so obvious when the lady be like recording in progress.
Yeah.
Like,
We was
I
just
mean,
rolling,
after
man.
you said we didn't record, I'm like, shit. Yeah, I don't recall hearing the lady come on.
Yeah. So, episode 55, man. I think we referenced this episode as the double nickel at Madison Square Garden.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, you did talk about what was that stat you said about podcasts failing?
Stat that I heard listening to Wall Street Trapper is that most podcasts fail after episode 52. Not necessarily fail, but most podcasters kind of bail on the programming after episode 52 because they expect to blow within a year. So here we are, you know what I'm saying, episode 55, still going strong, still motivated to grow this thing and continue putting out content weekly. But yeah, I just thought that was an interesting stat that, you know what I'm saying, most people only stick with it for like a year, and if it don't crack, that they give up on it.
Yeah, we done made it past that point, man.
Yeah, we made it past that point. But they also say most small businesses don't start, you know what I'm saying, like making money and turning profit till like year 3. I'm telling y'all to watch more by year 3. Like we definitely need the viewership up by year 3.
Oh man.
If we 3 years in and the cats ain't messing with it, then you know what I'm saying, it wasn't our time.
Might have to reassess.
Yeah, reassess, man. We might have to do more ratchet stuff, man. More hood.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, man, we do this for us, man. So, you know,
story.
We got into it with some goals, and one of the goals was to, you know, make sure we enjoy what we do.
Yeah.
As long as we enjoy it, you know.
Can't never say that we don't have a good time doing this, man.
Yeah. It's always good fun.
I mean, our guests, we've had some incredible guests, man.
That's factual, man.
For sure, man.
Yeah. A lot of the topics that we've breached on in this over a year now, like I've learned a lot. I think I've said that on previous podcasts, is like, you know, I'm a student every time we get a guest on because we've expanded outside of just, you know what I'm saying, the beer and financial literacy. Like we've brought in experts from so many different different fields, it's always, you know what I'm saying? I think Blast used the word one time in a title, a hodgepodge of information.
Yep.
So I think that's one thing that keeps me motivated, keeps me interested, especially with the guests that come on. It's like always something different. Like I can't think of anybody that's come on where I was like, oh yeah, I already knew all that. And so it's
yeah.
And they come on as experts, man. So we want to talk finance, we want to talk stocks, but that's one facet. But as long as somebody's coming on talking their expertise and dropping jewels, that's worth a couple of stocks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Can dig
it. Worth y'all people out there dropping a few coins on us too, man. We giving y'all the freebie. if you like what you're hearing, there is a link at the bottom of most of the places where you can find our podcast. If you want to drop a little change on the fellas, we won't say no.
Hey, where them dollars at,
man?
Start planning.
Yeah. So as y'all noticed, Mr. What's in This Can couldn't be with us today. You know what I'm saying? So we got myself, Doug, and Blast to handle these beer reviews.
We got it.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna slide it to, I guess, visually my left. Blast, what you drinking on, man?
Well, thank you, E. Appreciate it. As my guy would say, let's talk about it. I don't have a can. I got a bottle. I don't know how to say this. Is it Tröegs or Tröegs? Troegs?
I know exactly what beer you're talking about, but I don't know how to pronounce it either.
I had it for the hilarious Christmas episode that we did.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I think they had an Angry Elf or something on there, but this is their Oktoberfest lager. I think we failed to mention today we're going to be reviewing all Oktoberfest since we're wrapping up the month of October here. I don't really got nothing funny on this joint. It's just, well, let me see. It says it's our take on this timeless German style. It starts with traditional brewing technique called decoction, creating a bright, dry maltiness, a kettle edition of something I can't pronounce. Tradition hops add subtle floral and herbal undercurrents to the toasty, sweet fest. Lager, blah, blah, blah. So y'all did get to hear me read. I know how much y'all like, but I'm sorry I don't have no comedy content on the words. They didn't have any of those trigger words in there. But this says it's 6.1%. Yeah, none of that. It does say it's a Pilsner Munich. Oh, what was that buzz? I guess y'all didn't hear that buzz.
I'm sorry. Doug don't want to claim that his phone.
Okay.
Hey, man. Guess the caller, man.
All right, but yeah, here we go on the color, man. Nice, that dark color that you get with the Oktoberfest. I'm on the record as saying I'm not a huge Oktoberfest guy. I even have gone so far as to call it basic. But let's see what we think. Basic. I mean, it's got a little bit more character than, some of the other basic joints, but for the most part, this is basic brew, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's beer.
Did you show the can? Did I miss the can?
Oh, yeah, I didn't show the bottle. My bad.
The bottle?
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's decent, man, but, I wouldn't be reaching for an Oktoberfest in any other event unless we reviewing them, so.
All right, so it said like floral notes, like malty. Like, are you getting any of that?
Yeah, it's got a pretty good, cap on the top of it, man. So I guess, that helps with some of the maltiness, but I don't know, man. It really just tastes like beer. That's about it.
So is it a 375 beer or is it a 3 beer?
Nah, it's not gross, man. It's just, it's everything you've ever tasted before, man. I'm gonna give it a 3.5, man.
3.5. Way to kick off Oktoberfest.
It don't seem like it's a lot of variations in the style itself. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's because it's a traditional.
Yeah, it's a
beer.
traditional type.
Yeah, so it's like either you nail it or you don't. Like
In Germany, I wonder if is it like a year-round offering?
I think it is a lager. I mean, isn't it?
yeah, it's a
I mean,
lager.
Mine
German lager.
said Pilsner, but I mean Pilsner and lagers are pretty similar flavor.
Easy, man. You know, I like lagers.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, this might be up your.
Might
Yeah,
be-
I mean, I can't wait to go because I've been smelling mine. It smells good.
I mean, if you guys don't have any other questions for me, this basic brew, I'll
All
toss
right.
it on over to Doug.
Well, I got a West Side.
Some of that West Coast.
Cincinnati, Ohio. It's a Marzen style lager, Oktoberfest, 5.2, 22 on the IBUs.
You gotta take your glasses off, man. You can't see.
I really can't.
Clear the
read
shit
it,
over,
though.
man.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Oh, now I can read.
All right.
Yeah, it's clear.
I mean, it's the glare from the lights too, man. It's crazy. All right, it says this amber lager is made from German malts, German hops, and a German lager yeast for a truly authentic Oktoberfest beer. Clean toasted red malts with just a touch of hop spice. Okay, give it away to a clean, smooth finish for a fest beer you'll want to drink by the what? Shit, I don't know what this is. By the something. It's
Yeah,
by
mine
the,
had some German language in there. I had to skip
oh, by
it.
the Lanier? I don't know. Maybe that's German for some. I don't know. Let's give it a taste, man. You all, I confess to the podcast and to YouTube. I need bifocals, man. It's just I haven't been
Yeah,
able.
man, it looks good in the glass, bro.
That mug look like a red wine, man.
Yeah.
Little coat. I was cracking up at one of those pies when y'all was talking about coat.
It's coat season, man, with the stouts.
A little more bitter than I expected, man. 22 IBUs. You're not thinking real bitter, but it's bitter. Nah, bro. No.
Hey, man, we gonna have the Germans on our ass, man.
I'm about to switch it up to Samuel Adams, Oktoberfest. See if it tastes better.
I like Sam Adams was consistent, man. Like I rock with those. If I was just to grab one somewhere, it would be a Sam Adams.
Yeah, I did like the Sammy Oktoberfest.
Well, I might have to pour this out.
Damn. Or you can
You
chug
know I
it.
only drink 8 ounces anyway, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you still only drinking half brews?
yeah. I mean, all the malt and the toast and all that, you get the toast. You get like a little toast flavor. But it's a lager, and like you said, it's basic. Like you ain't like, man, give me a 6-pack of that shit.
Man, yeah.
You like, what's the next beer? Pretty much. Like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
we drinking next?
all I'm thinking about is next week, man. I'm cracking something with some fruit, some flavor.
Right. Mm.
I'm
I'm
disappointed.
thinking like I wasted my money a little bit.
We did it for the culture, man. We did it
I
for
give this West Side Oktoberfest a 3.
Damn. We just
I'm about to
talked
pour it out.
We just
I'm
talked
pour
about
it out.
bombing episodes.
If I could sneak a pour out.
Go ahead, man. I'll take over. Hopefully I can save the pod, man. I don't know. I got
I think I'm playing though. I'm about to
Revolution Brewing.
Chi-Town, right?
Yeah, out of Chi-Town, and they do stouts really, really well.
Oh yeah, those was that one that I got for you, right? Well, I think I got you 3 of them.
I still got one over here in the beer fridge.
Okay.
So I'm hoping this saves the pod, man, because their stouts are phenomenal. So this is Revolution Brewing Oktoberfest German style lager, 5.7 on the ABV. This is a smooth, toasty Stein lifter for fall. It's not giving me any notes. So we're gonna see what we got here, man.
3 for 3 in basic.
I'm getting more of a golden color. I think Doug's was red.
Yeah, I think mine's probably more like yours, Z.
Yeah, so it's a deep burnt orange color. Looks good. See what it's tasting like though.
Yeah, they've all looked good. Oh, that's the basic.
Yeah.
That's the basic look. That's the look of a man who's just took a sip of basic.
That's a look of disappointment for real. It's just like, man.
I'm sorry, fellas, man. I wanted to save the pod, man.
Damn.
I'm gonna be honest, man, because I'm not a Oktoberfest expert. So this could be really good or it could be really bad.
That's
You know
true.
what I'm saying? Based on my palate, I don't particularly care for it. But somebody who's into Oktoberfest beers and understands the science behind it and what it should actually taste like might love it. This is bootlight. You know what I'm
What?
saying? This is a bootlight. This is a Bud Light, man. It's
water.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd rather have Doug's house beer than this, man.
it's really flat on the notes. Like I'm trying to I'm trying to find the taste, man. Like I can't find a note. Like this.
Yeah. I
You know
feel
what I'm
you.
saying? Like the beer is noteless. It's my first noteless beer, man. Once again, man, I guess I'm gonna hold the form. I'm gonna give it a 3. Once again, I apologize, Revolution, if this is phenomenal. I just don't know enough about Oktoberfest and what it's supposed to taste like. Like I said, but you know what? I'm gonna take that back because I do like Sam Adams. Like I wouldn't give a Sam Adams Oktoberfest a 3. Yeah, like I would rate it higher because it to me it has more depth of flavor.
Well, let's see. I'm about to crack this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say Doug has a Sam right there.
Yeah, this ain't really hitting on nothing, man. But once again, it's a lager, German style lager. But even with lagers, you know what a good lager tastes like. Like, oh dang, that was crisp. That was fresh. Excuse me. This just like all my effervescence just went away like almost immediately too. Like it, yeah, man. Sorry, folks that tuned in looking for excellent reviews on Oktoberfest Brews, man. Like,
well, I don't know, man. We got one more.
I mean, if you like Budweiser, you'll like these Oktoberfest.
You like Miller Lite that costs $2 more.
Yeah, actually save yourself a little money and get you looking great in the bottle.
Yeah, it looks good. Kind of looks like this one.
Like the same.
Yeah.
So we got Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
All right, we got a Sam Adams.
Yeah, hearty and smooth. There's some numbers down there. I can't read them, but
yeah, I'm like, you got to take off, man.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay,
that's better.
Yeah, I think we all agree. I mean, I haven't had a lot in my day, but I do remember liking the Sam Adams one.
That's good. That's good. It's not as bitter. I think Westside just went a little too high on the IBUs, and I can say that because I don't like bitter beers. Some people who like the bitter taste, they get down with it, but this is better. Yeah, I'm feeling this one.
What would you rate that one?
Oh yeah, a 3. No, probably about a 4.
All right, yeah.
For Oktoberfest, this is probably the best one.
Yeah, like I said, I've always thought Sam Adams has been consistent. It's one that is usually on draft at any restaurant you go to around this time, and it's one that I'll ask for if I see it. But I guess Oktoberfest just ain't for me. It's not our bag.
Yeah,
fair.
I concur.
Yeah. Well, we're not sure if we're going to have a guest. He was having some technical difficulties. So I guess we're just going to kind of freestyle this episode for a little bit. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
proceed as if we don't have one, and if we do, then y'all will get a surprise, man.
Yeah, if he's able to join, we'll promptly introduce him and get into his background. But you know what I'm saying? The very first question I asked when we realized we might not have a guest tonight was, you know what I'm saying, was cats up on what was going on with Kanye. And I'm gonna give Doug an opportunity to chime in with his
Keep saying Kanye's name, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yay.
Yay. Yeah, just
Yay.
yay.
After these latest antics, I don't like the guy. Just don't like the guy, man. I think he's reached the limit of us accepting the nonsense that comes out of his mouth. Like, he's being irresponsible. It was already irresponsible when he said that the slaves had a choice and they could have. Why didn't they escape? And you know,
that was a long time ago too.
We've given him so many passes on the dumb stuff that's come out of his mouth, man. This latest stuff about George Floyd, and it's unacceptable, man. And I don't like him, you know. And I think I had a different word pre-pod that y'all thought was funny, but I don't like him, man. I mean, I think he needs to be canceled. Like, I think it needs to be shut down because he's saying things that people who support that frame of thought wouldn't say. But since he has such a big platform, for him to say it is irresponsible, you know. And I just think he's dangerous right now. Like, he's probably the most dangerous black man in America right now with his words.
I think, to echo your point, I think he's empowering some of those beliefs by him echoing that same sentiment. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, if Kanye said it's okay, then it must be okay. Yeah. Kanye don't speak for me.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I can 100% sit here and say Kanye don't speak for me. You know what I'm saying? He's never spoken for me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like just slam the dude, because I do feel like he's in the midst of a mental health crisis and he doesn't have people around him to get him the help that he needs. I'm not a doctor, but the things that he's doing is just, I don't want to say not normal, but it ain't normal. And once again, I don't want to be insensitive to anyone's mental health issues, but the things that we are witnessing, like Doug has said, it's dangerous, man. You know what I'm saying? He's echoing sentiments that certain groups have been leveraging to push forward their own narratives.
He needs to stop talking, man.
Yeah.
He needs to stop talking. Like, when, you know, he needs to shut up and make beats. I mean, he needs to stop talking. Like, unfortunately, when he does speak, and just with African Americans in general, we have to take the brunt of anybody saying something stupid just because of how society's set up. You know what I mean? When someone black does something, we all like kind of cringe, like, man, why? You know, the rest of society doesn't have to deal with that. You know, when white people, when a crazy white person say something crazy, they don't have to cringe and feel like they have to
represent the whole
represent
group of white people,
right? Or you know, feel embarrassed. You know what I mean? But he's embarrassing, man. He's embarrassing. And like you said, if he's going through a crisis mentally, stop talking. You know what I mean?
I think one thing that I found kind of interesting is I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw Funk Flex commenting on it, and he was, you know, basically asking why aren't, because I think Kanye dropped Meek Mill's name and maybe Puff and called him Fed or whatever. And Flex was like, you know, why haven't I heard from these guys or whatever in a response? And one of his theories was that, you know, these guys, maybe not Puff, but some of these guys still want to work with Kanye and, you know, get money with him or whatever. And I was like, man, that's an interesting point. And it's probably true for some cats. You know, there's probably some cats out there that aren't speaking out and saying like, hey, he's on some other ish or whatever, because, you know, they still want to, you know, work with him or whatever.
And I get that. I mean, and that's probably 100% has validity behind it, because if you don't want to mess up your dollars by saying something that's going to upset him and in essence mess up your cash flow. But at some point, you know, like I think Talib Kweli said on his Instagram, that it's our fault for not saying anything. You know what I mean? We've kind of like let this monster just continue to do and say outlandish things and without being checked. I mean, he's not the only one to make beats. You know what I mean? There's other people that these people can work with. But in and what I've seen, when you start messing with people's money, that's when they straighten up. Man, he's lost a couple sponsors here and there. I'm not sure the specifics, but I mean, he's lost a fan of me. Like shit, I won't buy his shit. I may not even stream. I may not even, you know, pull a stream or nothing from him, man, because that's how upset and outraged I am by the things that he's saying. Like, you know, you can't sit here and say George Floyd.
Yeah, he said knee wasn't on the neck.
Right, knee wasn't on the neck. We all saw it. You know what I mean? The whole nation saw it. He was on fentanyl. You know, what evidence do you have behind that? Like, did that come out in the trial? Like, what are you citing? He's talking about it was on the documentary. Okay, well, a lot of people can put things on documentary, but how valid and how true are they? You know what I mean? So that's why it's dangerous. And I think he's mimicking what his boy does, which is Trump. You know, he just says things to see if people latch onto him. And with the power that he has in music and the influence he has because of his brand and, you know, his clothing, his fashion, it's dangerous because now people will gravitate and say, hey, you know what? If Kanye said it, like he said, Kanye said it, so it must be the truth. Same thing with Trump. Trump saying this stuff, it must be the truth. It becomes so out of the realm of reality, they create their own, and that's dangerous. You know what I mean? And that's the whole thing we've been dealing with Trump, creating his own reality and creating these false narratives. And why do we have to combat that? You know what I mean? Why don't they just shut up? You know what I mean? Shut the fuck up.
Hey, just to shoot Meek some bill. Meek did come out and said something about him. So I'm not sure if Flex said that before Meek said something, but I know Meek did come out and he said, you know what I'm saying, Kanye basically acts like he hates his own people. And even who Doug just referenced, he even came out and said that, you know what I'm saying, Kanye's on another one.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, he can. I seen an article, a headline where he came out and was like, yo, now if that dude is sitting there saying that you lunching,
saying you want some other ish,
if that dude say you lunching, then yeah, you lunching because he's King Cafeteria. You know what I'm saying? Like
he aligned himself with, you know, the White Lives Matter. I mean, you know, he goes from White Lives Matter, then he doubles down with this dumb stuff with George Floyd saying this. It's like he just keeps it coming, and to align himself with what's her name, Candace
Owens, yeah.
I mean, to be aligned with her, and she's clearly, you know what I mean, not for the people, or they feel I am for the people because I have free thought. Well, no, you don't have free thoughts if all your thoughts are aligned with conservative right. You know what I mean? How free thinking are you if all your thoughts sound like somebody else's crazy thoughts? You know what I mean? Because what they're sounding like are just the far right's extremist views. So you're really not free thinking. You're calling yourself a free thinker as a black person because you sound like them. And, you know, I don't know what this deal is, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does anybody have any idea or inkling as to maybe, and maybe there is no end goal, but I'm just like, what is the objective? You know, I could see like I can't see. I don't know. Maybe he is trying to do something politically or whatever, but like,
well, he claims he's running for president in 2024.
Okay.
I don't know if you peeped the hat that he had on. It said 2024, and he's also spoken about running for president in 2024.
Gotcha. Okay.
But Kanye, in my opinion, he does this anytime that he has something to sell. So I don't know if he has an album dropping, if he has shoes coming out, if he has clothing line. Like he's a master manipulator of the media. And at first, like the first couple of things when he first started doing it, I was like, oh man, he's a master promoter. Like he's just getting a rise out of people. He's just saying whatever just to almost like clickbait. Like I don't really think this dude believes this stuff.
Yeah.
But as it's gone on and you have documented episode after episode after episode, like, yeah, man, this dude really believes this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is more than just selling stuff. And as a community, like Doug said, at what point do we cancel him? At what point do we say, hey, you know what? Screw the Yeezys. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear your tape no more, your music no more. I mean, we've canceled other people in the culture, you know what I'm saying, based upon their transgressions. Like, at what point is it up for him?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's bipolar, man. I mean, he's bipolar. Whatever medications he's on and or not on. And I mean, that's the thing. It seems like he's not on the medication that keeps him balanced, that keeps whatever frequencies in his brain from generating these crazy theories. And, you know, crazy is a word for a reason. You know, I mean, you don't get sane things out of crazy people. And he's saying some insane stuff. But it's dangerous because he's a powerful black man. And what's also a concern of mine is that not having enough, well, I think we've all said it, not enough black leadership to check him. You know what I mean? Not having that, you know, I don't want to use Martin Luther King or Malcolm X, but someone like that in this generation to take that brother and say, man, what are you doing? Like a Louis Farrakhan would probably be the closest one that I could think of that would ask him.
Kind of.
But who can check him when he feels like he's the biggest person in the room? Like Jay-Z has spoken out on him before and has, you know what I'm saying, talked about him being a brother and having love for him, and you know what I'm saying, and has said, and you know what I'm saying, like Jay-Z is probably the biggest figure in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So if someone like him can't really, man, and Kanye believes that I'm the biggest figure in the room, I'm always right, no one can tell me anything, then to me it just falls on deaf ears because he believes that he said it. I'm the smartest person on the planet. I'm the most powerful. I'm the richest black man. I don't believe there's anyone on that he believes is on his level that he would take guidance from.
Right. So that's why, you know what you have to attack? You have to attack his money. You have to attack the popularity. And I think he said enough things and we haven't really struck out against him as the black community. But you know, now it's time to really make a decision on if he's going to be invited to the cookout. Because right now, man, he shouldn't be invited to the cookout. And if he's aligning himself with White Lives Matter, I mean, come on, bro. I mean, we know all lives matter. We know everybody's life has meaning and value. But for him to take away from what Black Lives Matter, and you may not agree with everything. I don't agree with everything that the Black Lives Matter movement has done with their platform either. So I'm not saying that they're exempt.
I think before we even go further, let's separate Black Lives Matter as the movement and Black Lives Matter as the organization, because I think that's where the gray area gets.
Yeah, you're right about that.
You know what I'm saying? The movement is necessary, it's needed, it's powerful, and it's still relevant. The organization is where you're getting all the, for lack of better words, the fuck shit.
Yeah.
I think too, man, you know, we're kind of touching on the all lives matter. Someone told me, you know, like there wouldn't be a need to say Black Lives Matter if all lives really mattered. So it's like, you know, people always want to go back to, well, not just Black Lives Matter, but all lives matter, or this or that. But I'm like, the whole reason why there has to be a saying or a slogan that says Black Lives Matter is because people feel like it did matter legitimately. So there was no need to, there wouldn't have been a need to break away from the all if the black did matter. And I think that's pertinent, man. Like, yeah, we, like you said, we all know that all lives matter. Who doesn't? But you need to make sure that in that all, black is included in it. So many times more than not, it seems like it's not.
Yeah. I mean, because we've been demeaned, you know what I mean? And through that being demeaned, we've always had to speak out and say, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm relevant. You know, if you look back in the 60s, during a lot of those protests, you may see people with signs that said, you know, I am a man. because they were treating us like boys. They were treating us like, there was no
Something
respect.
less. Yeah,
There was no
something less.
respect. It was second class citizens that they were treating us like, and we had to speak out against it. And so Black Lives Matter was just a avenue.
Evolution of what's already been
Right.
said repeatedly. You know what I mean?
It could be a different slogan. It could be whatever. But the brutality and things like that, the reason why, the George Floyd and the Eric Garners and everyone who's lost
on
their
and
life,
on and on and on.
right? Everyone who's lost their life to, senseless police brutality. Those names, you can put their names into that matter. Eric Garner matters. George Floyd matters. So it's Kanye's way of saying, hey, I'm also respecting Caucasian and their culture. And the reason why he needs to do that is the question that we all must have for him. Like, why do you feel you need validation? And maybe it's money, maybe it's because his sales come from, mostly, I don't know where his sales come from, but maybe he's looked at the data and, white people support me, so why shouldn't I wear something that supports them, So I don't know, but I don't own anything of his. I won't buy anything of his. My girls won't get anything of his.
Yeah, I stopped checking for music a while ago.
Yeah, I did too, man. I think the last thing that I heard of his was Beautiful Twisted Dark Fantasy.
Yeah. But you know what? He does all Pusha T stuff, and I love Pusha. You know what I mean? I love Pusha T.
I feel like you can still listen to Pusha.
But so, in real talk, Kanye is almost in a similar vein as Dr. Dre. Like Mike Dean does a lot of the production that Kanye gets credit for. Like Mike Dean does a lot of that.
And half of the new Pusher is Pharrell too. It was a half and half.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can still rock with the people under good music, but I don't know. That's still supporting him because he's still, you know what I'm saying, breaking their money off of it. So it's like, do we expect those cats to separate from their lifeline? Because
no, I mean, I believe Pusha probably has a real relationship with that dude, and just because, I mean, if you came out today and was like, Trump 2024, that doesn't mean that we still ain't homies. You know what I'm saying? We just have a different view on, politics or whatever. So I think some of those dudes that are really close to Kanye are like, whatever he says, that's my boy. I mean, I can come out and say I don't agree with him, but I mean, it's deeper than his views.
But I think Billy, nobody was really concerned about his politics. We knew he was a Trump supporter. That's your politics. Your politics are your politics. And I didn't lose respect for him because of that. I've since lost respect for his antics with, playing with, the White Lives Matter, because it seems like it's a joke to him. So, and playing with, the comments about George Floyd, that's where you draw the line, because that's not politics. He's playing a social game, and he thinks he's winning by putting his own people as pawns in his game, and it's dangerous,
I agree with the dangers, man.
Yeah, and he did it at a fashion show, and that's his thing. He wants to be the Ralph Lauren, the Versace, you know what I'm saying? Like he's trying to fit into those rooms.
Right.
So he's trying to make these statements.
And they won't let him. They're not letting him in those rooms. He catches blocks every time he tries to fit into, those type of avenues. And I'm not hating on him, because I was a Kanye fan, man, like an advocate. I was always thinking like, man, maybe there is some, genius behind this madness, because, they say that geniuses always have like maybe a couple of ticks from being crazy. So I'm like, well, you always give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, man, well, what angle is he taking? Is he that smart? Is he outsmarting everybody to the point where he's going to, revolutionize something or bring some sort of epiphany to the situation? But he doesn't. It always falls on some dumbass, man, what's Kanye doing? And you can never figure it out. So these people who, I hear DJs like, man, maybe if you look at it this way and, maybe there are some points that he makes. Man, fuck that. You know what I mean? He's good at music.
Kanye doesn't care about anyone but himself.
I agree with that.
Which is really ironic because one of Kanye's biggest moments is when he stood on stage and said George Bush doesn't care about black people.
I was going to bring that up too. Like I wonder, it'd be interesting to see what changed for him. I don't even know if he could tell us, but it'd be interesting to see, like, all right, Kanye, at one point you thought this. What caused your mind to shift?
Yeah.
Man, I was listening to the Joe Budden podcast, and they had Rizza Islam on there. I don't know if y'all follow him.
Yeah, I'm not hip to him.
He's actually been banned off of all social platforms. He's part of the Nation of Islam. I think he's a really intelligent brother. I don't necessarily agree with 100% of the things that he says, but a lot of things that he talks about are based in truth. I mean, he speaks truth. It's not just opinion. He has facts and stuff. So I listen to him a lot when he speaks. But he was saying that if you look at the timeline of when Kanye kind of just went off the rocker, I guess there was a period in time where Kanye actually got like committed. And I believe, and he was saying, like, if you get committed, they basically have like 72 hours where they can do anything they want to you. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of don't have any say so because you've been committed. And he's saying if you go back and you look at that timeline from there, that's when you see this transformation into who you see today. And once again, I don't know. I don't remember when he actually went and got like committed to any type of like institution or anything like that. But for me, just visually, I just kind of pointed back to when his mom passed. Like that's kind of when you just saw this dramatic change in him. And I think that's when he started, dyeing his hair and doing weird and I don't want to say weird, man. Maybe it's artistic. I don't know, but weird to me. But he's just if you look at each traumatic experience that he's had, he gets more and more, he gets further and further away from reality. You know what I'm saying? So in my opinion, his latest trauma is dealing with, the divorce or losing his family and his wife.
Yeah.
Which he just appears to be spiraling out of control because he can't control that situation. And Kanye comes across to me as someone who always has to be in control. And so that situation, Kim did whatever, moved however she want to move, and he couldn't control that situation. He just, I don't know, man. He just out there. Like, I'm just going to do the utmost craziest stuff that I can do and see where it lands.
Yeah. I mean, essentially we're talking about somebody with an illness, you know what I mean? And, it'd be nice to maybe we had an expert on bipolar or mental illness so we can speak more intelligently about it. But, it comes down to crazy's crazy. And he sounds crazy. He sounds crazy to me.
I mean, I just want to commend you, E, on getting Doug to go into this topic, man. He was adamant that he didn't want to talk about it, and he still threw it out there, and he took the bait, man.
I don't think it was bait, man. I think it's an interesting dynamic, man, because
you're trying to set me up, man. I mean,
nah, it's an interesting dynamic.
We couldn't hold it in, man.
I feel like when you have conversations like this amongst us being, intelligent brothers, we can speak intelligently to it and not necessarily get all emotional about it and start, sounding ignorant when we talk.
Yeah, like saying you hate him or something like that.
But he validated his hate, man.
Oh yeah, I'm like, what are you talking about, E?
I said he validated his hate, man. Like,
hey, man,
nobody said that they hated him, man. I just used it as an example.
I mean, Kanye's probably never going to hear this podcast, but if he did, I would say to him that he lost somebody that was his advocate. Like I was a Kanye fan. Like when I was watching his documentary, you know, I admired his drive. I admired his you know, his perseverance. And one thing that I admired was the fact that he found so much comfort with his mom's validation. So he needed that. He needed his mom to say, Kanye, you know, you sound good, Kanye, and all that. And that right there was like, man, okay, the human element of the documentary. I don't see a human now. Like when I see Kanye, I don't see that human being that is that his mom was talking to in the documentary. I don't see it, you know. So if anything, he needs to get his humanity back, and he needs to get his blackness back, you know, because at the end of the day, we supported him to get him to where he is. You know what I mean? We supported him. The black community supported him. Chicago supported him, and you know, for him to, it was a slap in the face, man. I don't know if anybody else feels that way. It was a slap in the face because George Floyd's family doesn't deserve that, and now they're threatening to sue.
They're filing
I think they already did.
And it was something like right after it happened, I think Kanye may have donated $2 million to
his daughter
family. I don't know if this is true or not, but that becomes when you really look at the illness, how do you go from feeling so much sorrow for the family to donate that much money to now say it didn't happen or his knee wasn't on his neck, you know? He was saying that he was if you know, he was saying mama, and mama was his girlfriend. Well, it don't matter who mama is. He was calling out for somebody to help. Right. It could have been mama, could have been the girlfriend or his real mama. It doesn't matter. He was calling out for help. You know, it probably plucked at our heartstrings a little more that he's calling his mama, if that's who he was calling for. But they don't make it any less emotional that he's calling for his girlfriend that he calls mama. You know, but that was one of the points he made. That's one of the points Kanye made, was that, you know, he wasn't even really calling his real mama. He was calling for his girlfriend. I'm like, bruh, what difference does it make?
And I'm like him calling for mama is not what got the cop convicted. I'm like, man, you know, we've seen so many cops get off on these type of charges. What ultimately got that cop convicted was the clear evidence, man.
Exactly. He had his body weight on the back of his neck, and he did not let up. He could have let up for a little while.
Yeah.
And George Floyd would be here right now. He would be here. He was a big man, but you know, you got me to talk about it. You know,
that's how slick he is, man.
Hey, man, I've learned how to podcast over the last 55 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, what a good.
No, that was easy bait, man. That's
a good You're a good interviewer, E, man. Hey,
if y'all get a chance, man, watch with Roland. I don't know Roland's last name. He got
Roland Martin.
Yeah, Roland Martin, bruh. I mean, he kind of got me going because I listened to what Roland would say. He's like, man, I don't want to talk about Kanye. I don't want to talk about Kanye. He's like, Kanye's a fool. Kanye's a fool. Because he was on a Breakfast Club and they were trying to get Roland to talk about. He's like, I ain't talking about Kanye. He's a fool. He's a fool. And I agree, man.
That's a good Roland Martin impersonation.
I don't know. Yeah. Y'all like Kanye? You like Kanye, bud?
I don't know if I feel as strongly as you, because I mean he's just all over the place, man. Like, you know, obviously the George Floyd stuff. I'm honestly a little concerned about him because I'll be transparent, man. It seems like when you come out against Jewish people, you know, it's a different level of stuff that you face, man, when that happens. So I'm kind of concerned, you know, about his overall health, man. Kind of. I think he said something about
some of the clothes that he wears is like Confederate style clothes.
Nah, I ain't even hip, man. I mean, I don't really follow the guy closely. Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's been so much in the news lately that, you know, it's hard to miss. But yeah, I don't really.
I'm trying to give you some more evidence so you can not like him too, like me. I guess I don't like him. Y'all seem like y'all would give him that. Like I wouldn't give him that. Like he walked in, I wouldn't give him that, man. He would owe some apologies.
So Doug stood on his hill. I'll stand on mine. I haven't been, like I said, I haven't been a fan of the music in years. So I'm not really checking for Kanye. Originally, a lot of the stuff that he did, like I said, it was, you never knew if it was crazy or borderline genius because he was a master manipulator of the media, which from a distance you have to appreciate. But as he started getting more and more extreme with some of his antics, it's like, okay, slow down, bro. Like you doing too much. And like his latest, like, yeah, I'm not rocking with you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
why can't he align with, my thing is, you know, we know he's a black rich black man. So is, you know, Warren Buffett. So is
hold on. Warren Buffett's a rich black man?
No, he's a rich man. He's a rich man.
Right.
I'm talking about rich.
I'm messing with you, man.
Yeah.
Darren Buffett.
But why does his richness push him toward right views?
Conservative
views.
I don't have a problem with him. I don't have a problem with anybody being whatever they want to be. You're right, Doug. I mean, he could be a Republican, and I'd be cool with it. But I mean, y'all are dead on with some of the stuff he's saying is dangerous, man. Like if he was like, you know what, I don't rock with the Biden administration. Things have gone too left, economy, whatever he wanted to say. I could get down with. I could respect that. You know what I'm saying? I would probably disagree, but I could respect that. But yeah, I mean, just to, you know, take the shots at George Floyd, it's so outlandish, man. And I think before this recent episode with some of the things he said, it was easy to just dismiss him because, you know, society has told you that he's crazy. So like Kanye comes out and says something, it's like, whatever, man. That's just Kanye.
Being Kanye.
Yeah. But I think with some of the things he said now, it's forced you to kind of at least pay attention. Like, all right, this dude is, you know, treading in some different water now.
He's aligning himself with people who don't have a clue.
But my point was, just to kind of go back, the reason why I asked that question is, so why doesn't he agree with anything on the opposite end of the spectrum? You know what I mean? If you're a free thinker, and this is what he claims to be, and this is what Candace Owens claims to be, they claim to be free thinkers. Why isn't anything on the other side? And maybe he hasn't came out and said anything, but you mean to tell me that everything on Biden's side is wrong?
You ought to be able to see positives on both sides.
That's my point.
If you're really objective.
If he was coming out with a more balanced approach to his politics, and because, you know,
is it politics though, or is it? Because I don't think it's politics.
Man, when you wear it's highly political. When you wear
I think it's
make America Great Again hat on TV, you're being political. I mean, because that's a political statement.
I think that's social.
It's a political statement, though, because you're aligning yourself politically with the figure that represents that politics. Trump represents the side of the politics that will make him make it a political statement. Now, if he just came out with a black hat, you know, then you're being neutral. In my opinion, a social statement and a political statement can both be two are the same, but I think he's played politics. You know, he's played politics. I mean, he wants to run for president. So I mean,
it came up in I forgot who I was listening to, but it came up in Black America will not vote him into office because he's alienated the culture. So he has to play to the far right, to the far extreme. So how do you invigorate that base? Well, the blueprint's already been given to you by the person that was in office, you know what I'm saying, 2 years ago.
Man, they would never elect Kanye because he can't be controlled.
But
your boy that's in politics now that they put there, what's your boy's name? The Georgia boy. What's his name?
Walker?
Yeah.
That was the example that I was just about to give. Like, he's the same thing. Like, I can't believe that he believes what he's saying. Like to me, he's walking CTE. But
y'all talking about Hirsch?
Yeah, Herschel Walker. He's not gonna go against the establishment though. No matter what he says, his talking points will be right aligned with what the conservative right wants it to be. And I'm not saying that it's wrong to be conservative right if that's your politics, but he's not gonna go against anything. He's not gonna. So he's controllable. Kanye would never get office. He would never get in office or be a candidate on that side because he's too volatile. You know what I mean? His demeanor itself is too extreme for him to even be a candidate for them. Then they may like the fact that he's riling up, their red meat base, but he's still not controllable because he's not balanced. You know what I mean? He's sick. And when I say he's sick, it's not like I'm disrespecting everybody with illness. He's self-proclaimed that he is on medication. He's self-proclaimed that he has mental faculties that are off, and that's not even that's not even up for debate. But because we've said that a lot, but that's true, right? That's something that he's proclaimed. I would never call somebody who hasn't said it themselves that they have mental illness if they haven't said it themselves. He said it himself plenty of time.
No, man. I mean, it's like I said, it's just a weird dynamic, interesting. At the end of the day,
I want the old Kanye. That's what everybody want, man.
And I don't even want the old Kanye, man. Like I don't actually because I don't care anymore. You know what I mean? Like I don't care for his music. I don't care for his clothes. I don't wear his shoes.
Yeah,
he's not a factor in my everyday life. There's nothing that he does that impacts me in anything that I do. Like I don't care about Kanye.
That's most things, but we're talking about him because he's impacting the conversation now that we're having. But I don't know how y'all felt about him, but since y'all still his boy, man, I'm gonna shut up talking about.
Man, ain't nobody said he's not my boy. I just sat here and said I don't care about him. Like I don't care for anybody that's irresponsible to their own community because they're trying to appease or become one with the community that doesn't even want that doesn't accept them, regardless of how much money you have or what you do. Yeah. You can't change that physical appearance. You can't change the person in the mirror. You can alienate where you come from. You can alienate Chicago, the hood, the culture, hip hop. It doesn't make a difference. You're never going to be accepted.
There's only so far.
Yeah.
All we can do is pray for him, man.
I ain't praying for that dude, man.
Oh, what?
I'm not.
Yeah, I think that's. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was going to say. I think that's where I have a little bit of sympathy. I don't know, man. It's just you don't want to believe that somebody is that far gone.
Man, he don't want help, man. There's people who have offered help. There's people who, if he want to help, he has unlimited funds. If he want to help, he could get help. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want help.
To Toll's point, man, maybe we've talked a little too long about this dude, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, how's y'all fantasy going, man?
Yeah, man.
I'm trashing my both leagues, man, and I'm over it, man. I'm still lining up every week. My team's trash,
man.
I mean, I know there was talk about a certain guy being a rag doll, but I think I've beaten Tolls every year we played, man. I don't think Tolls is
man. Somebody said I was homecoming. They're like, man.
But you know what, man? I don't think I've ever beaten E. So this week's a big week for me. It looks like I'm gonna lose again, but
you probably got me, bro.
I got to try. Nah, they got you favored right now. I'm like, I got to get a 1 win on E, man.
My team's trash, man.
Anytime Brady lets you down, I mean, Brady, he just gave you the win, Blast. I mean, I think he had like 40 points, man.
Now, I thought you was doing straight this year, and then I saw your record. I'm like, damn, those is that bad? I'm like, jeez.
I made some bad moves. I mean, I can't be mad. I put my chips behind some guys that I thought were gonna maybe blow, and they just try to trip it away. Like my whole Cam Akers situation.
Oh man,
but hold on,
in my face, man.
That's not even you though. ESPN had him ranked like super high.
Yeah. I'll tell y'all what, man. I should win GM of the year though, man. My quarterback both my quarterbacks got hurt week 1. I had Dak and Mac Jones. I don't know what I did. Oh, I think I took the Houston Texans quarterback for a week. That didn't work out for me. And
Davis Mills?
Yeah, Davis Mills. And I saw that Geno Smith was kind of eating. So I took a flyer on him and like, man, Geno has led me to like 3 wins since he's been on my squad.
Give me 2 minutes to talk about Geno. One, I thought Geno was 49 years old. Because I feel like Geno's been in the league for like 20 years, man.
Yeah, he played for the Jets, right? He played for the Jets.
Yeah, he came in with the Jets.
He got drafted to the Jets. Where else did Geno go? He's been on 2 or 3 teams, but I knew he was the backup. I knew he was the backup in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
But I honestly thought Geno was like 45 years old, man. And so when Russ left, I never thought that the new starting quarterback of Seattle was going to be Geno Smith, man.
How old is he? Do you know?
I feel like he came in 2012. I could be a little bit off on the year.
To be 40, man.
pretty old.
He ain't that old, man. I don't think he's that old.
Alexa, how old is Geno Smith?
I know Seattle. Like, man, we were sad about Russ leaving. Russ is trash right now.
Russ is trash. Not having
what does one of our thread mates say? He calls him Sierra's husband.
Sierra's husband. He been relegated to Sierra's husband, man.
Yeah, Geno's a young 32.
That's old for a quarterback.
He's got 10 more good years.
That's a good experience right there.
Man, he just seemed like he was old. Like I think I was giving Geno Smith like Vince Young age, man. Ain't Vince Young a little bit older, like 35?
Probably. I mean, he played that title game in 2005, so you figure he was probably 21 in that game or something like that.
With Texas, man, anytime you can just identify a person and that squad that quick, and that squad hasn't done anything since, it's a bad program, man. I don't think Texas has done anything since Vince Young.
Nah, they haven't.
Yeah, I mean they made it back to either. Well, those days was BCS, so it was only one title game. They made it back with another career backup. I can't think of his name. Right after. What'd you say?
Was it Major Applewhite? No, he was before. Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy, yeah, and he got hurt against Bama.
Yeah,
so who knows? What would have happened that game? But
that's true. Yeah, I remember seeing it. Yeah,
but I mean that's still basically the same time period. So since then, yeah, you're right.
Next year, man, what I'm gonna have to focus on is first I make some bad moves, but secondly, not making bad moves is the first focus. Secondly, man, just really looking at the offensive line and which running, just because you get a good running back, if the O-line sucks, and I don't know how you can judge it, but if the O-line sucks, man, you're gonna have a tough season.
Man, I'm gonna tell you what you need
for the quarterback and the running back
is you need to look at the scoring structure because, like, I got Nick Chubb in both of my leagues.
Yeah,
one league, Nick Chubb will go off. In the FNL league, he'll get 10 points. In my other league, he'll have 25.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, and that's my fault for not investigating the scoring. But I'll have the exact same players in both of my leagues, and they both PPR leagues. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
yeah, I was confused about that too because there was a player, it was a running back. It may have been yours, Blast, but it was a new running back. It may have been the backup for Jonathan Taylor, that Deion Jackson guy.
Oh,
He only got like 45 yards.
My thing is it's not about the yards, man. It's about the catch with the receivers and the backs. It's about the catches. You get one, at least in our league, you get 1 point for each reception. So a back could run for 100 yards and only get 10 points. But if you have 10 catches, you get 10 points also, plus the yards.
Oh, so that's why
I like the receivers and the backs that catch the ball because you get more points with them catches.
So Mixon, I mean, he catches out the backfield. So I think Billy's eating with him. Yeah. Excuse my dog, man.
He's made an appearance in every pod for at least.
Yeah. I'm like, you might as well let it ride, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's literally in at least the last 20 for sure.
Did y'all shut him up? You shut him up, please.
Let Tyson live, man.
It's become expected. Like, yo, we're gonna get at least one bark.
Yeah, but fantasy's fantasy, man. Shit.
Yeah.
It is fun though, man.
I did get my only victory from who did I beat?
I think you beat me.
Yeah, I did.
My team is trash, man.
Yes, bro. Because I'm always juggling between two running backs. Because I got that text message, Billy, when you was like, man, yeah, Zeke. You know what I'm saying? Reclaim your running back duty.
This guy didn't even respond to me, man.
Man, I lost to Bob by like 0.001
Oh, man.
or something.
That was clutch. Hey, last Monday night was a good Monday night. It was a lot on the line in our league, man.
Yeah, I'm like, man, and the bad part about it, I think I had Devontae Smith on the bench who got like 13 points.
Yeah.
But the real talk, fantasy football is the luck of the draw, man. Because you can sit there and look at the projections and you get all your high projections in there. It's never going to fall out like that.
Nah, plus people get hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's never going to fall like that. And so it's just like, okay, what's the matchup? Is Devontae going to get off this? Like, well, Devontae stunk the last 2 games. Then Devontae wants to get off. Like, it's.
Plus, I'm like, all of our guys are pretty savvy. So if there's somebody on the wire that you want, it's probably like 6-7 other dudes with the same idea that you got. So it's rare, like, all right, I'm about to take this player. It's rare that you end up the next day with him. Somebody else done got him.
I was so mad when I looked up and saw, because I was thinking, I mean, if you fall asleep for a couple of days, man, if you're not watching who's injured and which running back, because I need running backs. So I was always looking like, man, I need a running back. I need a starter to get injured. So when Jonathan Taylor went down, then I normally have Hines on my bench, but this year I didn't. And Hines had that concussion. I'm like, all right, man, I'm gonna hop in and get the third. Man, T Love got on that waiver wire so quick, man.
I'll be hating when T Love get a play. I'm like, man, you ain't gonna do nothing with that T Love.
I can't even talk this year, man. I'm trash.
I can't talk at all, man. I don't go into any conversations about fantasy, man.
Yeah, I am trash.
I mean, you low-key had a shot against me, Toles. I'm like, man, I low-key need Zeke to take some carries away from this dude.
But it was only
because break off one of these long runs.
It's because, I don't know if y'all watch it and you see the percentages as the game goes on. When they saw that Brady wasn't doing nothing third, fourth quarter, and he only had like 150 yards, man, yours were already 90% won.
Them percentages is crazy to watch, man. Man, I was up against Bob or was it Bob? I forget. I know it was Kev. I was up probably in that 80 to 90% range, and he had CeeDee Lamb, and he needed like 22 points, and he dropped a big pass in the first half. I was like, all right, I'm in good shape. And then the second half, Cooper Rush just fed CeeDee. I'm like, damn. And it got down to like the last 4 minutes. I was still up, and then CeeDee made a one-hand TD catch.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Every time I watch, man, I'm like, Zeke, get out of there, man. Like every time I see that visor, I'm like, man, fuck, man. Zeke's in.
Zeke, obviously being Ohio State, man, like I have love for the dude, but he might be one of the worst running backs ever.
Man, it's so funny. Like we all probably had the same feeling. Like when I see Pollard in the game, even if a lot of times I've had Zeke on the bench lately, and I see Pollard in the game, I'm like, damn, man, Pollard is eating into my carries, man.
He's the only running back, I believe, in history who's gotten worse every single year he's been in the league. Like, that's a real stat.
Damn.
Like, I'm like...
He looked good against y'all, though.
Yeah, he did. He did all right.
Yeah.
But look, man,
let's get up out of here. But before we wrap up,
all night.
I don't know if anybody else on the pod can say that both of their teams is undefeated, college and NFL. But moi.
Oh, okay.
Eagles fly.
Man.
Go
Eagles look good, man.
That Philadelphia Eagles is shocking, but
yeah, it's a good team to watch too, man.
Yeah, I haven't spoke much about them because being a lifelong Philly fan, I know what this looks like. I've seen this before, but they actually look good.
Like the Titans. I think you like the Titans.
No, I'm a lifelong Philly fan. Everybody knows since Randall Cunningham. I live in Nashville, and I like.
You're also a ticket holder for the Titans.
Because I don't live in Philly. When I lived in Cincinnati, I had Cincinnati Bengals tickets. Like, I like football. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but yeah, you you go Eagles, go wherever they say, fly Eagles, fly.
Eagles fly.
But there was nobody on the Eagles that I was like, man, I need to pick that person up. But now I'm looking at like Breece Hall from the Jets. I'm like, man, I probably what's his name, Breece Hall, whatever.
Yeah,
Breece, yeah.
Breece, I could have had him, but there was nobody on the Philadelphia. I was like, man, I need.
Or one of them packed.
Okie State, I want to say, or Iowa State.
Oh, okay. I don't think he was out of Pac-10. But once again, we're gonna wrap this up. Thank y'all for
checking. Peace to Kanye, man. It was nice knowing you.
Wake up, Mr. West.
If you want to blow up the hops and stocks, if you want to get on here and talk crazy, I'm here for it, man. If you want to come talk to me, man.
And we won't take our episode down like Drink Champs.
They did?
Yeah, they took that down, man.
Yeah,
okay. Nori been apologizing for the last 48 hours, man.
Real quick, man. I don't see why they took it down, man. I mean, like you said, Doug, there's some dangerous content, but I mean, as long as you hit them with the views of such and such ain't our views.
You can. So here's, man. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up. The reason why they took it down is because when George Floyd's family talking about like suing people, you don't want to get wrapped up in that lawsuit.
Right, you're complicit. You're complicit.
Okay, so you can sit there and say like, "Hey, we took measures to mitigate." You know what I'm saying? What was happening? So we took it down. So they're trying to wash their hands of all responsibility of. Yeah, man, they did the right thing.
All right, I got you.
Yeah, they don't want that lawsuit.
We ain't taking down because we can't pay nobody. So
yeah, exactly.
You can come on here, and spit those views.
Hey, I mean, you can come on and spit those views, but I'm gonna attack your ass like a damn bloodhound.
Sue us. We ain't got nothing.
Hey, he ain't gonna be able to say nothing. I'm like, shut up, Kanye.
He'll be so
mad. I think that's what people were saying. They expected. They wanted Nori to do. They wanted Nori to check it, and Nori didn't do that. He failed to check it.
That's not Nori's personality, man. How can you check someone when you're 10 shots in?
Well, he said that. He said that. He blamed it on being drunk, and it was just like, man, if you get drunk around Kanye, he's going to master manipulate you, man.
But you know what? There should have been there's two guests on that show. The other
two hosts.
Yeah, two hosts. I'm sorry. There's two hosts. I guess this Oktoberfest kicking in a little bit. I'm dissing it. So the other host could have stepped in too, man. And you got producers to the show. You know what I mean? Somebody should be like, man, cut this dude off, man. Yeah. But he already come, and we're gonna wrap up. His comment about the Jewish media. His comment about the Jewish media is what's getting them canceled. You know what I mean? That's gonna end up really getting them canceled, and he doesn't care. You know what I mean? I don't know the angle that he's going.
He just bought Parler, which is equivalent to buying Twitter. It's a social media platform where he can spew whatever the hell he wants to spew. Yeah. And it caters to the right wing conservative party and a lot of, you know what I'm saying, people that have, you know what I'm saying, white supremacist and racist beliefs utilize that platform, and it's actually based here in Nashville, and he actually just bought it.
So what's the Ku Klux Klan?
Huh?
I said, so what's the Ku Klux Klan? It was founded in Nashville.
It was
in Tennessee. It was founded in Tennessee.
Pulaski. It's about an hour and a half from here. I actually rode through there on my motorcycle one time, realized where I was.
Y'all professional racists down there.
Huh? I did a beeline, man. I was like, I went there by accident, man. I was just riding. I saw the sign.
I'm mad.
I'm like, man, let me get the hell up out of here, man.
Yeah, you did the right thing.
And on that note, let us get the hell up out of here, man.
Yeah, we're the hell up out of here.
Signing off. We out.
Be a shell of a man if we ever depart from my heart to I'm riding with you. I'm riding with you.
Podcast is presented by H&S Media Group. We encourage our listeners to drink responsibly. Please note, we are not financial advisors. We do not offer or provide financial advice. Trademark copyrighted by H&S Media Group.